the Builder.
So Sonic the Hedgehog is actually totally cool. And do you see this one little mistake he made here?
Yep.
Isn't that cool? So I was wondering what he was doing there, and I kind of thought that it was this foot and that he inverted the points. That he did the floor before the elevator. And that's kind of what I think he did here. And I always love to look at mistakes and try to find out what people did, which I find really interesting. Now, he also did the Superman, which I love. And he did Snoopy. And Batman.
What?
And Super Mario. So you guys got to get working. This is a lot of work here. This is a lot of work and really, really cool. Julian dilated his own M. And Sahaj, oh my God, look at that. So I'm going to send you this, and I have all of his coordinates. See all of his coordinates here, guys? Those are all of his coordinates. So you could actually recreate that perfectly. And finally, Alice's A dilated to a factor of 2. And I think this is really, really beautiful work. So I'm going to minimize that right now. And then I want to take you guys on a little journey with me. We're going to go on spring break.
Beijing.
Isn't it spring break right now, guys?
No.
Actually, it was supposed to be.
I have school.
I know, but we were supposed to be on what?
Spring break.
April break.
We were supposed to be on spring break. So I want you guys to understand that I am now taking you with me on spring break. We're going to do a virtual spring break. So I asked all your parents. And Max, can you please take the blanket away, please, because it's distracting to me and the others? Okay. Mark, you had a question.
Oh, well, I have a comment. School's gonna be closed for the rest of the year, I think.
Yep.
That's what my
It
parents
is.
said.
That's what Governor Baker said.
He's a baker.
You know what? I do not know. Whatever Governor Baker says, I will certainly listen to.
Why is he a governor, not a baker?
And there it is. So I was supposed to be right now, today, I would have been in Jerusalem. I would have been in Israel. Okay.
I would have been in Beijing.
And I had other people tell me that they were going to be in London, Paris, Beijing, Xinjiang, Washington, D.C., Orlando, Boston, Nantucket, Sanibel Island, Bedminster, New Jersey, San Diego, East Hampton, Miami, Florida, Spain, British Virgin Islands, Toronto,
No, we weren't.
Jackson Hole, Wyoming, and on and on and on.
We're supposed to go to Italy.
All of these wonderful places.
Martha's Vineyard.
Palm Springs.
And so,
Why did somebody go to Boston?
and what's, wait, why would somebody go to Boston? Because Boston's one of the greatest cities in the world. So it totally,
Martha's Vineyard.
makes sense
Was that us?
to go to
Is
Boston.
it us?
So I'm going to mute everybody now because people are just talking without really paying attention. So we're gonna try this now. So what I want to tell you guys is we're going to go on vacation right now. And in order for us to go on vacation, what I want to do is I want to start with the Boy Scout motto, which is be prepared. Have you guys ever heard the Boy Scout motto before?
No.
No.
Oh.
Anybody
No.
said be
I was in
prepared.
Boy Scouts.
Be
The Boy Scout
prepared.
motto.
Even Scar from the Lion King.
Be prepared.
The Boy Scout motto. Wait a minute. James, did you just mention something about the Lion King?
Yeah, Scar sings be prepared.
Well, guess what, guys? That is actually one of the really cool songs from the Lion King. And I was thinking about solving math problems are all about preparation. So mathematicians and chess players are always thinking ahead. So let's go on vacation for spring break. But first of all, check out these ideas. And you can give these ideas to your parents, okay? When you schedule your flights, I want to make sure that they give you the most time on vacation. So you want to have the fewest number of layovers and flight changes. But of course, that may not always work. You want to make sure that your seat are on the plane and they're together. And they're also not next to a bathroom because bathrooms are smelly. Also, you want to update your passport. If you're going out of the country and your passport is going to expire in 6 months, you can't go. So you have to make sure that your passport is good. Also, if you want to use a credit card while you're on vacation to buy something, your bank sometimes will shut off your credit card because they're like, this is not normal. They shouldn't be in China. They shouldn't be in London right now. So you call your bank first and you let them know you're going to travel. The next thing is you better have foreign money because when you travel, you have to have money in the currency for where you're going. So for instance, in Israel, I would have turned US dollars into shekels. So shekels. In London, do you know what it's called in London?
Coins.
It's
Euros.
called, go ahead, Liam.
Euros and pounds?
It's called, well, they just changed from euros back to pounds, or I don't even know if they ever went to euros, but they're out of the European Union now. But yes, they use pounds and euros in Europe, okay? So you need to have the right the right moolah, as you would say. Now, research. Guys, I'm gonna mute you guys right now because I can't hear with that noise. Now, you have to get a hotel or an Airbnb that is centrally located. But in order to know where you want to be, you have to do research. And I also think it's important for you to learn the history of where you're going. So when I went to Colombia in South America in February, I learned about their history, and it's a pretty amazing history. So I was really excited, and I got to see a lot of the places that were in the research that I did. Also, transportation. Make sure you rent a car in advance or have your transportation organized because you don't want to be worried about that once you get to where you're going. Now, the next thing is really important to me, your gear. The types of things you take, what do you need? For instance, you could buy sunscreen, right? I'm gonna unmute everybody now, so I want everybody to be really quiet. Max, you with me on that? Okay, so I want you guys to understand that you could buy sunscreen wherever you go, but it's very, very expensive. So bring your sunscreen. Bring some books or audio for tablets, games such as chess, Sudoku, playing cards, or whatever you like. I even used to tell my children to bring like a blanket or a pillow or a stuffed animal if that was good for them. But I have to tell you a bad story. You guys ready for a bad story?
Yes.
What?
So my boys, years ago, my son was about 6 years old, maybe 5. He's now 22. And we went to London and he left his blanket on the bed. Well, when they made the bed in the hotel, they took away his blanket and he never got it back.
Wow.
So whatever you bring with you, you have to assume may get lost. So be careful about bringing things that are too sentimental or valuable to you. Now, for me,
That's a 1-star resort.
the gear that I get I bring all of my kite gear. And I literally put 3 kites and 2 boards and a harness in a golf bag. Well, I just found out that I could rent that where I go. So on my last trip, I rented it and I didn't have to bring anything, but I would bring things like snorkel gear, masks, maybe a tennis ball to play catch, but don't bring a lot of stuff. Also, pack lightly. Check the weather so you are warm. You can always take off layers, but you better be warm enough. Take some comfortable old shoes, a hat, sunglasses that you won't mind losing. And leave room in your luggage for what? Buying souvenirs.
Souvenirs.
I happen to think, though, most of them are a waste of money. But it's really good to support the local economy where you travel. Now, if you go to a poor country, like some people I think were going to Jamaica, you would want to bring small gifts like a bouncy ball or action figures you don't use anymore to give away to poor children that you might meet. So that's something to think about when you travel. Finally, cell phones are a safety precaution. They can be very, very expensive if you don't have an international plan. So make sure you prepare for that. Most people use cameras on their cell phone, but make sure you bring a camera and you have plenty of room on your cell phone to take those pictures. And finally, global positioning system. Can anybody tell me right now, raise your hand electronically, what is global positioning system? Who can tell me? Will, can you describe it?
It's like a place where you can look up. It's like an app kind of where you can look up like a place and it gives you directions to go there.
Okay, that's true. And what else? Liam? And oh, I'm sorry, Owen?
It's kind of like you see when you're driving, mostly your parents have a GPS or something.
Yeah, GPS.
It gets them from getting lost.
Right, right. And Dylan, what do you think, buddy? Dylan, you raised your hand, buddy. What's up? What do you think about GPS?
It was open.
Okay, what about you, Mark?
It was what Will said. It's an app that you can.
Mark, are you still describing this to me?
Oh no, that wasn't me.
Okay, Dylan, was that you, buddy? Okay, Dylan, I can't hear you. Liam, turn off your virtual screen and then you can share. James, you can share.
Yeah,
It's a GPS.
It is GPS. That's what global positioning system is. And Jack, what were you going to share?
I was gonna share that, I was gonna share how it works.
Well, please tell me, Jack, how it works.
So there's these whole bunch of satellites that are in different places. And so when you hold it, it measures the distance from certain satellites.
Well,
So,
keep
it will
going.
pinpoint where you are, your latitude and longitude.
Right, right.
And
That's
that would
exactly
see where
right.
you are on the map.
So I want to tell you a little bit more about GPS, okay? And so GPS is actually a constellation of 27 satellites. So there are 27 satellites in operation in our orbit. There are 24 that are working and 3 extras in case one of them fails. Now, this was developed by the US military many years ago, and then they soon opened it up to everybody. each satellite weighs about 4,000 pounds, kind of like a big car or a truck.
No
They're
gravity
solar
in
powered,
space.
and they circle the globe at about 12,000 miles of altitude. Now, do you know that the highest planes fly are at about 5 or 6 miles? So can you imagine 12,000 miles? And I don't know, guys, if you notice, but in the night sky, I often look up and I see satellites, little white dots going across very slowly. They're not shooting stars, and it's really, really cool. Now, it is the GPS's job, as Jack said, to locate 4 or more satellites and figure out the distance to each. It's called trilateration or triangulation. And here's how it works. You guys ready for this? So you ask somebody, you ask a stranger, you say, hey, where am I? And the stranger says to you, you are 625 miles from Boise, Idaho. So what does that mean? That you can be anywhere what?
In that circle?
You could be anywhere on this circle. It's not very helpful to tell me that I'm 625 miles away from Boise, Idaho. But then I ask another person, and the other person says, hey, you're 690 miles from Minneapolis, Minnesota. So guess what I just found out? I have to be on this circle for Minneapolis, this circle for Boise, so I must be where? I must be where, guys?
In the middle.
Oh, not in the middle.
On
I
the
must be
sides.
on one of these 2 points. But guess what? I still don't know where I am. And this is where the third satellite comes in. The third satellite or person tells you you are 615 miles from Tucson, Arizona, and therefore you must be where?
Denver.
You must be in the intersection. You're not over here because that's not 615 miles away from Tucson. And that, guys, is the way satellites work and GPS. But guess what? It is an electromagnetic frequency that goes at the speed of light. The speed of light is 186,000 miles every second. So it's instantaneous. Yes, Mark?
So if you put a mirror, it would just bounce off?
Oh, big time. Big time. But if you think about it, 186,000 miles per second, it is so fast that it's literally instantaneous. The question, though, is how does GPS find your location? How does it record your location? And guess what the answer is, guys?
Doesn't.
How long it takes. I know.
Coordinate grids. Thank you, Mr. Descartes. Do you remember who Descartes was?
No.
Remember, Descartes was the one who invented the coordinate grid. And this is a coordinate grid of our planet, okay? It's a coordinate grid of our planet, and it's got these lines on it. These lines are latitude. Everybody go like this. Latitude
Okay. Latitude.
and longitude.
Longitude.
Now, I don't like this map. This is called a Mercator projection map, and it's not very accurate because the world is not flat, is it?
No.
Absolutely not. So this is a better map. And what we have here
It's a globe.
is we have the red horizontal line Who can tell me what that line is? Please raise your hand electronically.
The equator.
And I got Liam.
The equator.
It is the equator. And can anyone tell me the red vertical line? Raise your hand electronically if you know the red vertical line. The red vertical line that runs through Europe and Africa. Who can give that one? Rafa?
The prime meridian.
It is called the prime meridian, and it's also
was there
called
once,
the
I think.
meridian of Greenwich. And
Yeah.
Greenwich, England, is right on the prime meridian. So the prime meridian is the center point at 0 degrees.
I've been there.
The equator is at 0 degrees.
I've also been there.
Wait, you've been to Greenwich?
Me too. Me too. Yeah.
Wow.
On a little
that's
ferry, I went to it.
totally cool.
Oh, and I have a
That's-
souvenir.
We just did we actually like
I got
Is
this from.
somebody speaking? If you are, please project your voice.
I got this from the Natural History Museum in Greenwich.
Oh my God, Liam, that's so cool, buddy. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was awesome. Now, guys, let's talk about
And when I
latitude. And Max, can you put the ball down, please? Because it's a little distracting and I want you to pay attention. All right? Latitude, guys, is a bunch of horizontal lines. It's a bunch of horizontal lines that, and who can tell me the longest latitude line around the globe? So if this is the globe, what is the longest latitude line? Everybody say it on 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
The equator.
Good. And latitude comes from the word lattice. Lattice means wide.
Would like to.
So it divides the earth into 2 halves. The upper half is called the northern hemisphere, and the lower half is called the southern hemisphere. Now, there are 90 degrees of latitude from the equator. 90 degrees to the North Pole, 90 degrees to the South Pole. Who can add 90 and 90 and tell me what that is?
180.
180.
And what happens if you go around the back of the earth? How
90.
many degrees now?
90.
Come on, 180 and 180, say it out loud.
360.
360.
Awesome. Now,
7.
all latitude lines are parallel, and they are the same distance apart. In fact, they're even referred to as parallels. Now, why do you think that they're separated into 10 degrees, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and 90? Why do you think they're separated by tens? Who can give me an idea why they're split up into tens of degrees? Who has an idea why they're split up into tens? Rafa, go ahead.
One reason is why not, but another reason is probably if they do it by 1 degree, by 1 degree, it has to be very large and detailed.
I like that. I like that. And the bottom line is, when you go from 0 to 90,
In the middle of the screen.
wouldn't it be silly to count by 9s when you can easily count by 10s? You could do it by 9s. You could do 9, 18, 27, all the way to 90, but it's much better to count by 10s. So that's the way the latitudes are done. Now, let's look at longitude, okay? Now, longitude, have you guys ever seen a peeled orange? Have you ever seen a peeled orange, guys?
I think so.
And do you see these lines that come right down vertically?
Huh? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is the North Pole of the orange. And then these are called the longitude lines. Just like on the map of the Earth, an orange has longitude lines. So really, really cool. I like that analogy a lot. And longitude, guys, goes from the prime meridian. Everybody go like this. Prime meridian. And it goes out around the globe. Everybody do that. Out around the globe. Now, notice, guys, quiet please, that the prime meridian, if the prime meridian is in front, you guys see it? That's called the Western Hemisphere. You see it? The prime meridian. What is the thing in the back called? So if I turn the Earth around, what is on the opposite side of the prime meridian? Does anybody know? If you know, raise your hand. Okay, it is called the international dateline. So if this is the prime meridian, on the back is called the international dateline. And it's really, really important. So I want to ask you now a couple of questions. Are you guys ready? I want you to send me a chat right now with the answer. Okay, I'm going to mute everybody because people are talking. I want you guys to send me a chat with the answer. Which picture shows lines of longitude? Which picture, A, B, C, or D? And I'm looking for your chats right now. I've got chats from James and Nick. I don't, James and Nick, I can't, oh, I can see it now. Dylan's good. Zach, I don't agree. I agree with everyone else there. Zach, why don't you think about that? And on 3, guys, 1, 2, 3, it is B. So longitude are those vertical lines from the North Pole right to the South Pole. So let's do the next one. Send me a chat on this right now. Which picture shows the Western Hemisphere? Which picture shows the Western Hemisphere? I want everybody right now to send me a chat. We're looking for the Western Hemisphere. Remember, the prime meridian is the center. Everything to the west is the Western Hemisphere, and everything to the east is the Eastern Hemisphere. So the Western Hemisphere, and I got a bunch of guesses, and guys, it is C. So we, the United States, North America, and South America are in the Western Hemisphere. And I want you to look again. Do you see the prime meridian? And everybody put their hand in the middle by the prime meridian and go west. Everybody go west, okay? So if you can see, going west is North America, South America. Going east is Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. Okay, you guys got that? All right, next challenge. Which picture shows the Southern Hemisphere? Which picture shows the Southern Hemisphere? And I am looking for your chats right now. I'm looking for the Southern Hemisphere. And if you think about the Southern Hemisphere, it's the bottom of the earth. If I was holding the Southern Hemisphere right now, I would have my hand on what country? I would, and you can chat that to me also. I would have my hand on Antarctica. So yes, D is the Southern Hemisphere. Very, very nice work. And finally, the measure that shows how far north or south a place is from the equator is shown in which picture? So send me a chat really fast. Which picture shows the north and the south on 3? 1, 2, 3. And yes, it is picture A. Very, very good. Nice work, guys. Nice work. Now, there's a little bit of a joke. Snoopy said she wanted to live in Canada, but he wanted to live in Mexico. Thus, they parted. Years later, when asking the reason, she replied simply, "I just didn't like his latitude." It's sort of funny. It's a funny math joke. She meant attitude, but of course, they were in different latitudes. Canada is way up north, and Mexico is way down south. All right, let's now talk about latitude and longitude finders. Now, I'm going to unmute everybody, and I like everybody to be nice and quiet.
I go
Now,
to
I like everybody to be nice and quiet is what I said.
That was
Okay? So I really need you to do that. Now, what I'm doing is I'm showing you a website that I want everybody to go on after class. Okay? After class, I want everybody to go on this website. And it's a lot of fun, and I'm going to show it to you right now, if I can. I just want to make sure that there's, let's see if I can get it.
80 times 80.
Guys, the part about being quiet is really, really important. So if you guys can listen to that rule, we can do a lot of really cool stuff, okay? But if you can't be quiet, then I'm gonna have to mute everybody. So this is the latitude longitude finder. Where would you guys like me to find latitude and longitude right now?
Z. It's E.
Go ahead, Will.
Z.
The booty.
Okay, would somebody like to share? Mark, go for it.
McDonald's.
Oh, Mark, you're muted. When you raise your hand, make sure you're unmuted. Make sure you're unmuted. Dylan, do you want to
Palm
share?
Springs.
Say again?
Palm Springs.
Oh, Palm Springs. So watch this. I'm going to type in Palm Springs, California, and I'm going to hit find. And, uh-oh, now it says I have to sign in. Let's see if I can sign into that. Log in and lat longe.
What's yours?
And here we go. So we're going to go to Palm Springs.
40. Yeah, put a 4. No, you didn't. You lied.
Oh, look at that. Who can read to me the lat longe? Who can read to me the lat longe? Who can read to me the lat longe? Can anybody see it?
He thinks he's.
I can't see till 3 on the.
Jack, why don't you read that to me, Jack?
You can't even do
33
times 8.
Point 830,296.
Oh wait, I forgot your bind.
And minus 116.545296.
Yes, you did.
Now, who can tell me if latitude is a positive number, as 33.8 is, and longitude is a negative number, who can tell me what that means? So if latitude is positive, it must be what? Say it out loud. It must be what? Can anybody say north?
North.
It must be north. And if your longitude is negative, then it must be what?
South. West.
No,
West.
West.
it is west. So we have 33 north and 116 west. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to try to find a map of the United States. So I'm going to go to a GPS map of the United States, and let's see if I can get entire page display. Okay, so we're looking for, Owen, yes? Owen, I called on you, Owen. Owen, I'm guessing that you are muted. Owen, you've got to unmute yourself if you raise your hand.
It wasn't letting me unmute myself.
So, Owen, are you going to share?
No, I couldn't unmute myself.
Oh, I get it. Okay, so guys, let's find 33 north, 116 west. Help me out, guys. Where do you think 33 north would be?
33 would be
Las Vegas.
Well, no, 33 is between 30 north and 35 north. So it's right about here, and it runs all the way across the United States at the same position. And now we have to find 116 west. Help me out, guys. Where do you think 116 would be? You can say it out loud. Where do you think
Wyoming.
116 would be?
In between 120 and 110.
Wow. And everyone, let's look at this line.
Idaho.
And guess what? At that intersection, Mark, what do you think we found at that intersection?
Palm Springs.
And that, my friend, is Palm Springs. That is Palm Springs, California. And it's such a specific place. Now, how many of you have cell phones? How many of you have cell phones?
Up here.
If I go
Palm Springs is
to
like-
my Compass app, do you guys see my Compass app?
Yeah.
Yeah? Now, if you open your Compass app, it will give you your GPS locations where you are right now. It'll give you, and by the way, look at ours over here, guys. This is us in Boston. Who can tell me what those coordinates are?
Between 40 and 45.
So you guys have to give me the north first. Go ahead, north.
41.
North.
So it looks like about 41 or 42 north. Go ahead, Dylan. And Dylan, you're muted. Okay. So Dylan, you gotta try not to mute yourself. Go ahead, buddy.
No, I was telling, I couldn't unmute myself.
Oh, I got it. Okay. So now, Max, what about you, Max? Max, can you tell me what the longitude is for Boston? Looking up here at west.
It's between 50 and 70.
That's not what I see. I see Boston is between, can anybody help out?
40 and 45?
Well, 40 and 45 is the latitude. The latitude, Jack, what do you think?
I think it's 71.
Yeah, Max, do you see 71 right here?
Yeah.
It's 71. So I'm going to say that Boston is 42 north, 71 west. Now, I want to look at, and somebody's making a lot of noise right now. If you could stop that, that would be awesome. I appreciate it. And one of the things I also wanted to show you here is I wanted to show you Israel, because this is where I was supposed to be. Now, if you look at Jerusalem, and I'm going to show you Jerusalem is right here on the map. You guys see it? Now, can you tell me why it says 31.76? 31.76. And remember, this is 31 and this is 32. So why is this 31.7? Who can describe that for me? Who can describe that for me? And I'm looking at, I've got Jack raised his hand. Go for it, Jack.
Because it's a more exact point.
Ah,
And it's
yes.
further in.
But
So
isn't
it's logical.
0.7 closer to 32? Isn't 31.7 closer to 32, as you can see? And then everybody look at the longitude. So the latitude is 31.7, but the longitude is what? It's between 35 and 36. But do you see what it is? It's 35.21. So it's 35.21, and it's east, because Israel is east of the prime meridian. And it's a lot of fun to find these points. So I want everybody right now, and I'm going to ask you to go to a page in your packet, page 7. Everybody go to page 7 in their packet. And I want everybody to answer this question for me right now. I want you to give me, let's see, I want you to give me this degrees. So send it to me in a chat. What would be this one right here? Send it to me in the chat. Your choices are all down here. And I'm looking for a chat from you. And you can't say 0L because there's a 0 longitude and a 0 latitude. So you've got to make a choice between 0 latitude and 0 longitude. So what do you think it is? Remember, 0 longitude, guys, is the prime meridian. So this one right here is 0 latitude because it is the equator. Okay, whoever's doing that mumbling sound, if they would stop, that would be great. Okay, now I have another challenge for you. I'd like you to try this one right here. And this one right here is a little bit harder. And I would say that it's about halfway from the equator to the North Pole. It's about halfway from the equator to the North Pole. You can all say it out loud on 3. 1, 2, 3, go.
45.
44.
90.
40, what did you say? 45 what?
45.
No.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome job. Now, the last one on this page that I want to give you today is I want to ask you this one right here. So please send that to me in a chat. And by the way, that is about 1/4 of the way to all the way to the left. So I'm looking for your chats right now. It's definitely not north. It's definitely not north. Now, Owen, 180 west, Owen, is this one all the way out here. That's 180 degrees, Owen. Okay? Ah, nobody got it right yet. Now, what's interesting is, Jack, you came the closest because, Jack, you said 45 east. This guy is 45 east because east is to the right of the prime meridian. Who can now tell me out loud what the red one is? Go.
45 west.
It is 45 west. So be very careful of your east and west. Now, in your packet, you have a whole bunch of really great exercises. So my first one here is longitude practice. If I ask you right now, and let's make this a little bit smaller, I ask you to find me, what city would you like to find? Say it out loud.
Las Vegas.
Everybody find Las Vegas right now. Las Vegas is 36 north, 115 west. 36 north, 115 west. So I want you to try to find that.
Found it.
Great, great, great. And it is 36 north. Won't that be around here? And 115 west. Did everybody find it right here?
Yep.
Oh my God. I want you guys to do every single one of these. And here you're going to put Las Vegas at that point. Okay? Now, in the next one, oh, this one's kind of fun, but we'll skip over that one for now. I gave you this one so you could find your favorite country and
China.
coordinates. Now, China is amazing. China is amazing.
Ethiopia.
And you know what? Let's find China's coordinates. Everybody
Ethiopia.
find it right now. Go. Oh, you know what? I don't like that picture. So I'm going to go to a better picture of China right here. So why don't we find the coordinates of Beijing?
South
Everybody
Korea.
find the coordinates of Beijing. And please help me out here. We have 30 north and 45 north. So if I go by 5, 35, 40, 45. So 35, 40, 45. And so where do you think this is, guys?
40.
Do you guys think it's, say it out loud, go. Give me the north, give me the latitude first, please. Come on, go ahead, say it out loud. Give me the latitude first.
40.
It's definitely below 40. And I would say it's 39 north. And what about the longitude? What about the longitude? Here's 105.
116.
Here's 120. Now on 3, 1, 2, 3, go.
100.
I can't hear you. You'll have to be louder, please.
I can't see you.
100.
Yeah.
I bet it's about 115 what? East or west?
West. No, east.
Guys, it is east. East of the prime meridian. So Beijing is 39 north, 115 east. Now, the last thing I want to show you is this, guys. This is what you guys are going to do.
About the lacrosse thing.
And I really hope that you spend a lot of time doing it.
You never lie.
So everybody go to page
Now it's pouring
15 in
rain.
their packet.
And I-
Everybody
I
go
was
to page
supposed to be able to
15
do
in
my
their
lacrosse
packet.
with Dad.
Everybody go to page 15 in their packet without talking. I'm going to mute everybody since some people are making little murmuring noises, okay? So when you go to page 15, what I've asked you to do is to choose your favorite destination from the Mathlete travel list and mark the spot on the world map. Add to the list as you wish. Prepare like a mathematician and go. So we're going to do one example right now. I'm going to ask you to raise your hand and you get to choose the place that we're going to. Now we've already done Palm Springs, we've already done Boston, we've already done Beijing. So I want you to choose one. Jack, go ahead.
Naples, Florida.
Let's do it. Now Naples, Florida is 43.98, almost 44 north. So I'm going to find 40 north. Does everybody see it? And I'm going to find 50 north, and I'm going to find about halfway. So my north-south line, and I'm going to make a little line there, guys, is right about here. So I would say that that is about the 44th parallel north. Now, Naples is 70.5 degrees west.
Excuse me?
Yes.
That's Naples, Maine.
Oh, you're right. I really appreciate you finding my mistake. So that is Naples, Maine. So let's find Naples, Florida. There it is. Naples, Florida. Thank you very much. So 26 north, and let's do a thinner line here at 26 north. Who can help me find it? Who can help me find it?
There.
Come on, say it out loud. All right. So I believe that that's about 26 north, and then we have to go to 81.7 west. So 81.7 west is going to be about right about here. And look at this, guys. It sends me right to Florida, and that's Naples. So I would put like a little Naples right there, and I want you to find as many of these places as you can. And if you do that, send me your entire map, and I will put it on my museum. I'm calling it now the Kramer Math Museum, and I'm going to put all your work online on that museum. Okay? So who's going to do that this week? Who's going to send me the entire Mathlete travel world? Who's going to do it? Raise your hand right now. Go ahead. All right. So I want everybody to unmute themselves. It's really hard when you guys all mute yourself. Maybe I could do it at the same time. Here we go. Zach, try to unmute yourself. And let's do a Mathlete cheer from the number negative.
Kramer, we're sorry, but we have to leave early.
Oh, no problem, sweetie. No problem. Thank you for saying so. We're going to go from negative 360 by 90. Everybody go.
4:30.
Negative 360. Go.
Negative
270.
Keep going.
Negative
180. Keep going. Negative 90. But don't ever say negative 1. Oh, 2, 4, 6,
8.
appreciate. Mathletes. Go Mathletes. I will see you guys in 167 hours.
Bye, Dakota. Bye, Owen. Bye, Drew.
See you guys.
Everybody.
See
Say
you.
bye to your friends.
Bye.
Bye, Dakota.
Bye.
You guys are awesome.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.